Looking to stock up on high-quality Ayurvedic herbs? I've partnered with two of my trusted sources, Kerala Ayurveda and Gary and Son, to offer you 20% off their entire range of authentic products. From classical formulas to single herbs and seasonal must-haves, these are staples I use in my own practice. Use code Ojas Oasis for Kerala Ayurveda, Ojas Oasis 20 for Gary and Son. Links are in the show notes. Supporting your healing journey just got a little bit easier. In Ayurveda, nourishment isn't only about what we take in for the body, but also what we offer the heart. That's why we're honored to share Aura Cacao, a ceremonial grade cacao we've chosen as a dharmic partner for the Ojas Oasis community. Aura Cacao supports meditation, heart-opening rituals, and moments of conscious presence. As an exclusive gift for our listeners, use Ojas Oasis 20 for 20% off, and you'll find the link in the show notes. Welcome to Ojas Oasis, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets the modern being. I'm your host, Sasha, Ayurvedic doctor and guide on this journey into the heart of holistic wellness. Neil Dumra is the founder of Third Eye Cacao and Third Eye Meditation Lounge, spaces he has cultivated for cacao ceremony, meditation, and conscious connection, bringing communities together to explore presence, embodiment, and intentional living. He is also a dear friend and next-door neighbor of Ojas Oasis at Casa de Luz in Austin, Texas. Beyond his businesses, he shares his knowledge through Third Eye Tonic, Third Eye Healing Retreats, and his work with the Nurturing Place, empowering others to integrate diet, meditation, and spiritual practices into their daily lives. Neil's journey into holistic wellness began in a culturally rich environment where he was immersed in gardening, Ayurveda, alchemy, meditation, and empathy. Over the past 9 years, his dedication to personal transformation and conscious living has evolved into a philosophy he embodies. You are what you eat, think, and breathe. In today's episode, we explore what it truly means to lead with intention, live fully in the moment, and create a life and business that reflects your dharma. In this conversation, we dive into flow and preparation for success, keeping ego out of the way, conscious capitalism and leadership, redefining what it means to succeed, how to create something bigger than ourselves, a legacy that outlives us, the transformative power of good intention in business and life, removing the illusion of pedestals in leadership, and stepping into fully embodied success. Neil and I explore how clarity and grounded presence transform your business, leadership efficacy, relationships, and hence, overall quality of your life. If you are seeking a roadmap to leading with purpose, this episode will inspire you to live with intention, make meaningful impact, and leave a legacy rooted in dharma. Let's get to our chat. We're here.
We're here.
We're here. We're live.
Are we live? Okay.
No, we're not actually live.
No? Okay.
But I am here. I'm joined by my friend Neil Dumra. Dumra. What does Dumra mean in Sanskrit? I'm sure there's a...
Okay, so it's a village where my ancestors are from.
Mm-hmm.
Dumrao.
Ah.
Yeah. So Dumra comes from Dumrao. Right?
Cool.
Punjabi family lineage.
I don't know everyone in your family, but the people that I have met so far, I love your clan. You're just good people.
Thank you.
Incredible.
I'm realizing that every day. It's really special. Feel supported.
You definitely are.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely are. So Neil, you are the founder. You're the founder of Third Eye, Cacao, Meditation Lounge, yoga. You're doing so many things, and I feel like as your neighbor at Casa de Luz and also just as your friend, getting to know you in the last couple months since I've arrived here has been so inspiring. You're always going after the next. I mean, there's just like this continual progression of what you want to do. And I feel I can just see it in the way that you show up,
Mm.
that there's a vision that you're honoring consistently. And I love having people like you on the show. I love having conscious entrepreneurs who are walking the walk. That's all that it's about.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I receive, and like when you say that, all of my little critics come out.
Let's invite them out to play. What do they have to say?
Yeah, no, it's right. I actually resonate with so much with what you said, and then I feel like I'm behind all the time, and it's not a truth. I know it's not a truth, but it's also kind of like my alarm clock, where it keeps me on the drive. Like it keeps me rested, with the vision, but also I get to keep going and it keeps me motivated. So yeah, I appreciate that reflection. It's nice. Yeah.
I'm also your friend. So of course I'm going to
Yeah, totally.
I'm coming from a place not just of like, how can we collaborate and grow together? And business is wonderful. I love business. I also just really love friendship. I think friendship is actually more important to me than any other like facet in community. I think that's something we also have in common. Like community is everything.
It's everything. Yeah. So I feel like business, I've done a lot of business.
Yeah.
And so this does not feel like business to me. Like the last 10 years of doing all of this sort of conscious business, it hasn't felt like business because I've done prior to that so much I call busyness. And that was the business that I was doing. It was busyness. This doesn't feel that way. And from that, I create. It's like if it doesn't feel in resonant of creation, I don't want to be a part of it. And so that's kind of, I think that's how I keep going with that motivation, that energy.
I feel like it'd be interesting to take it from the top. How
Yeah.
did this journey begin for you?
Okay. So let's start.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Minnesota. My lounge is a representation of my grandparents' apartment, and I did that because it was a space where I felt most at home, but also I felt like it was the most like inviting and open space. Like literally, when I would walk in my grandparents' apartment, there were people from all walks of life. There was really good food and nourishment and music, and it was like a cultural sort of hub for my family. And I loved that. So that was the inspiration. I wanted to go back to where I came from in a way that felt like me, more authentic to me. And then it's like life and trauma, like you're doing all this stuff. I was trying to help my parents. I was trying to do their business, not my passion. And then I had an accident. And that accident sort of got me into my health again, got me into being coherent. I was chasing for a long time. And then I was here in Austin on a wakeboard, surfing, and I lost part of my finger. And that was kind of, yeah.
How did I never notice this? Neil, I've known you for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I've never.
It's funny. Everyone says that. Everyone says they never notice it. And, I'm happy about that because it makes me realize I've integrated it. It's not something that I use as a sort of tool to be in my victimhood. That neighborhood is a very lonely place. And I'll tell you, it was in that space and time when I discovered cacao. It was here at Casa de Luz. After I lost my finger, I was having meals, 90 meals in a row, or 90 days of food here in a row. I was microdosing, and I was also drinking cacao. I was spending time with Wyo. Me and him, we played tennis 24 times in 1 month, and I felt compelled. I went to Costa Rica, and I was in the jungle. I was drinking some Costa Rica, and I ran in the jungle as fast as I could. And generally speaking, that would have given me a lot of fear to be in that space and to just run. But I felt connected for the first time since before the finger, even since before even previous accidents. I had hurt my hips. I felt connected to my legs and my feet for the first time. And I was like, this cacao, there's something different about it. So that's how I discovered cacao, discovered my disconnection, because even when I lost my finger prior to that, I'd been doing yoga 3 times a day. I was healthy. I was six packed. I was fit, but I wasn't in my body. And I didn't know that difference until that happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So it kind of started that way.
That's, I still can't believe I never noticed the finger.
Yeah.
All this time.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I, what?
No.
But okay. It's good to know I'm not the only one that
no, that actually, every time I bring it up in conversation or in a podcast, they're like, I never noticed it. And I'm happy about that.
I think it also speaks to just how, you're just so, you enter a room and then there's so much embodiment and presence that like no one's looked like, I don't know. I could never imagine something being missing. Like this idea that there would be enough like space in the room to like be like, oh yeah, the finger. Cause you know what I'm talking about? Like that there's a fullness is what I'm saying. Like a fullness and embody. Yeah. I like to give compliments. So I hope I hope I'm making you very uncomfortable
it's
with
good.
your inner critics.
It's good. It's good. That actually is something that, took me a long time to get to. I feel like all the drinks and the elixirs and the concepts were from a place where I emotionally and physically was working towards that grounded presence, and I feel like that's something everyone gets to be. And it's not something you get to always be in, but it's a choice we get to make. And I think that's part of the choices we make every day.
What's exciting you now about your business?
Oh yeah, lots of things.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about actually taking, my inner sort of, I want to call it my inner computer, and sharing it with the world. So like my lens, my feelings, my relationship with cacao, I want to share it with the world because it's been an internal conversation for a long time. So when I was 12, 13 years old, I hurt my hips. They put metal in my hips and I broke my hips. From then onwards, I've had issues with chelating because you have heavy metals in your hips, in your body. That became sort of my inner sensor of what cacao to drink. Because if it was too much in heavy metals, I could feel it. And so all of a sudden I was like, I know my cacao, but now I need to back it up with science. So I've been testing cacao, and with my intuition, but also these amazing scientists, we've come up with this thing called the Cacao Flavonoid Index, where it shares lab-backed science, high flavonol cacao, talks about antioxidants, polyphenols, theobromine. It's like kind of the book of knowledge that has never been shared in the world. And that's what we're working on.
That is so cool.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It's fun, being a nerd about, I think it's a really important sign actually in any company to see how nerdy is the founder or the owner of the creation that's being made, because it's a good sign that it's going to be good, because it becomes kind of obsessive, but in a healthy way.
I'm obsessed.
Like, I think we need to reorient ourselves with the word obsession. And I
have a new word for it.
Yeah.
I'm a convict. I'm a convict of cacao. I'm convicted.
Convicted.
Yeah.
Conviction.
I got conviction.
That's very gangster of you.
Yeah, I know.
You're a cacao gangster. Convict.
Yeah, I became a convict, and I was like, I'm okay with it. This is the one I'll take in.
I mean, one might say the same about me with Ayurveda.
I know.
I think
you are. You're a convict.
I think so.
When I met you, I was like, this is a convict.
It's fun when you're awake to the dharma and you're just letting the music play through you. There's no attachment to any 100%. Of the things that are happening. It's
yes, for sure. Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun, and it's really fun finding each other.
Yeah,
there aren't that many of us swimming in this part of the ocean.
We have one right next door, but
Wyo?
Sonatum.
Oh, Sonatum. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We've got literally elders supporting us in so many different directions. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Austin, shout out to just the community in Austin, Texas. Wow.
Yeah.
I met Woody Harrelson right outside yesterday.
I served cacao to Woody Harrelson yesterday.
Nice.
He had a grounded presence.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Yeah. What else would he get?
Yeah. It was him and his wife came in. Mm-hmm. They were just very sweet. I made sure none of my staff had to take a picture or try to make it a thing.
Yeah.
And I let it be the meditation lounge that it is.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I also did not, what are we going to do with a selfie with someone that we like? It's more important to have a moment.
I realized in this, when I turned 40, I no longer want a selfie from a random person who I don't know, but everyone else knows. Mm-hmm. No thanks.
Yeah. Why?
No.
I'm
done with that.
I mean, instead I actually saw the moment as such a sweet opportunity to connect with someone that I was very curious about, and I love their work. And it was just a great chance to be like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
And and I told them a bit about Casa de Luz because it was Woody's first time here. Laura has been here before, but yeah, it was just a great opportunity
That's so cool.
to connect with another person that lives in Austin, Texas, who happens to be known. But what a lovely
It's amazing
experience.
I love Woody from Cheers
Mm.
because Cheers is also part of Third Eye. Like Cheers,
Mm-hmm.
when I came to Austin, I lived in a small little crappy apartment in North Austin, and I watched every episode of Cheers on Netflix. It was just during my time of transition. I needed this show, and I love this concept of where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came.
Oh.
And that was like the song I was hearing in Third Eye before Third Eye became a popular concept. It was just me behind the bar for 3 years every single day, and I was hearing that song, and I made sure when people came in that they felt seen and loved and connected. And that's part of the ethos.
I think that's what also makes, like, both of our businesses are at Casa de Luz, and you walk. I mean, I am stoked every day to get here.
Yeah, me too.
Like, this is just, I feel like this is our, like, a playground.
Yeah.
And I think it does come down to the fact that it's just so open, so welcoming. There are people who've been coming here every single day for decades, and it's unique. I hope that it really just serves as proof of concept, and that we spread this kind of prototype. We can recreate the essence of what this is.
It's happening.
It is. Yeah.
I think the more organization that we create around it and the essence of what it is, Wyo has put so much of his life into this, and I really believe life comes back to you when it comes from a really peaceful, loving place.
Absolutely.
And yeah, this place is so special. Come on, Casa de Luz.
It's one of one. Yeah. There will never be another, but there's something that I think there
will be more. There will be more. I feel it.
So.
Yeah. We need it.
We do. That's for sure. Yeah. That's for sure. Feeling drained, stressed, or stuck in old patterns? Panchakarma is Ayurveda's ultimate reset, clearing toxins, balancing your doshas, and restoring your vitality from the inside out. At Soham Healing Resort, every detail is designed for your transformation. Personalized therapies, nourishing meals, and deep rest in a serene sanctuary. As an Ojas Oasis listener, you'll receive $500 off your Panchakarma retreat with code OJASOASISPK2025. These retreats book quickly and often far in advance, so don't wait to reserve your place today. Visit sohamhealing.com/panchakarma, and you'll also find the link and code waiting for you in the show notes. If you're studying Ayurveda or want to learn from the most respected teachers in integrative medicine, this is for you. The 2026 NAMA Conference, Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine, is a global virtual gathering to connect ancient and modern medical science. Join a transformative online gathering of Ayurvedic practitioners, integrative medicine providers, herbalists, researchers, scholars, and yoga therapists. Over 3 days, you will engage in dynamic panel discussions and interactive breakout sessions, covering clinical outcomes, emerging research, and how Ayurveda professionals can meet the moment in today's evolving healthcare landscape. Whether you're a seasoned clinician, wellness advocate, or yoga teacher, this conference is your chance to connect, learn, and shape the future of holistic health. Register today at ayurvedanama.org from May 1st to May 3rd, 2026, and secure your spot. I would love to talk about leadership with you.
Yes. Let's talk
about conscious leadership and how important it is.
Yeah.
And we could talk about it in the business world, but we could also talk about it in a more like macro sense, but maybe business. And when you're starting to grow something and you want to scale it and you want to have a bigger impact, you need more people, you need teams, you're working with lots of different expectations.
Yeah.
Personalities.
Yeah. So I went to school for hospitality management. And so I kind of understood a little bit. I had really good teachers, leadership teachers, and people who helped me understand. And I actually worked in restaurants, hotels, I was general manager of really amazing establishments. And I've had a lot of sort of time in the industry. But then the conscious business is very different, especially in a village where people are coming there for space to be held for them. There's so much more nuance to it. And for me to have a brick and mortar where we're serving clients, but also it's almost like there's a lot of psychology needed in order to make sure that people are leaving happy, but also we're not holding too much space. It's kind of like a balance. So for me, I realize is like relationships are really important. And you almost want to create like a training program within your business where people will learn something regardless if they stay with you. That's how I see it. Because you're giving them an education regardless if the relationship is meant to be. Does that make sense? So at Third Eye, we make sure that every employee comes in and they learn everything about the concepts we're teaching so that they leave with, they can make better drinks. They can learn about their health. They can go to classes and yoga and meditation and breath work. And if the relationship is meant to be, then yes, they're going to stay for a while and everything's going to be amazing. There's a family that's connected into it. And it's not just a corporate situation. It's actually a very sturdy business where you get to be loved and you get to love others. And it's a community-based business. So when I think about leadership, I think about it from this perspective. We were talking about this the other day. It's like responsibility. It's the ability to respond, but also to be a mirror, right? For yourself and the person you're responding to, so that there's clarity in between y'all. And there's never this power struggle. And as we learn that, it's like taking away the hierarchy in relationships. When we do that, we're all on the same playing field. Even when you're on top of somebody, you're uncomfortable. Even when you're below somebody, you're uncomfortable. So when you make it even, it makes it comfortable for every relationship. That's how I do it.
What do you think prepared you for leadership?
So I believe in past lives, so I've had a life of a lot of sort of understanding. When I say understanding, I have a past life where I had to do a lot of standing under. And when that happens, you are gifted leadership without asking for it often. And that's been happening my whole life. Been gifted leadership without asking for it because I'm standing under. So that's it. It's just understanding and standing under, And
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That one too.
Yeah. And I do that often. I make sure that I'm the shortest person in the room, and people are trying to be taller. And I'm like, let's go. I'll look up, Yeah. It's fine. I don't need that.
I often also say, I never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
I will run so fast out of there. There's nothing for me in there.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to learn anything. I always want to feel like, okay, there's someone in here that knows way more than me. Yeah. At least one person that I can just be like, okay. I mean, but then there does come a day where, like you're saying, sometimes leadership finds you, it chooses you. And in that moment where everyone's kind of electing you, right? They've chosen. It's not like you wanted it, where you weren't campaigning. But then you find yourself sitting at the front of the room and all eyes are on you, all ears are listening to you and what you have to say. And that is something that I have very recently begun to reconcile. With great knowledge, with great experience, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes. Yeah. But then it goes back to responsibility, the ability to respond. And then I take this thing that people put on us, the projection, and I clean it every day. Every day we have to clean the projection of the pedestal. So that's part of it. We have to. That's part of our responsibility. And in that, it goes E, G, O, everything gets organized. So spirit comes through, and that's what we lead from. It's a channel.
Yeah.
So it's never about us.
Daily cleansing of the ego. PSA out there for all.
You got to, and you can't ride it. Even for a moment, you can't ride it. You have to go do your thing and remember you're human. We all are human. Yeah.
We are.
Yes.
Yeah, that we are. We have periods of struggle that will test our character, will test our resolve. Sometimes we don't show up buttoned up, and sometimes we forget. There will be days I forget to clean the mirror. And I do get caught up in my, whatever.
Everything getting organized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we fall behind, so for me, one of the things that I love about Ayurveda, and I love a whole lot of things, everything pretty much actually, but I love that compassion. It will always come back to the thing that is the most healing. When someone gets sick or someone is in a situation that's really difficult and it was a string of karmic decisions and actions that put them in there, it's like we have to just have compassion for all the versions of you that didn't know.
That's it. In fact, in these communities, in these relationships, we will rub up against parts of our shadows. And in that, it's when you have the spirit that helps you slow down so you can actually see yourself, make amends, and move on. And that's part of it. And we have to do that work too. I've had, as much as I love Wyo, we've had lots of tension, but then we come back to love, and that's the most important thing, right? And tension is actually important. If we avoid tension, then honestly, we're in our kindness, and over kindness is not nice. That's not the way.
Because it's not honest.
It's not honest.
If it's false kindness, then
that's why boundaries and being in actual right relationship always. As soon as we start pushing ourselves or pushing others, then we're out. And we have to go back into that center.
Been thinking a lot about flow lately.
Love flow.
Love flow. In Ayurveda, there's 4 kinds of flow. There's excessive, there's deficient, there's blocked, and then there's flow out when the channels themselves are damaged. And pretty much at that point, it's irreparable. And that's like a good example of that would be like a Kundalini experience where the person wasn't ready. They were doing advanced techniques. And these are technologies that we teach, in the Vedic system that you have to be prepared for. Kundalini is a very high prana velocity of energy that you're, summoning, mastering. So when someone's channels aren't ready to hold certain things, but they want to skip to it, like a lot of people just want to skip to, especially now, I think the younger generations don't understand the process of being able to handle success and leadership. And that there's like a whole, so many years of like, you're talking about standing under and just, like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And you're, years and years in, you're just wondering, why do I have to keep, like, you want to just get into it. But the preparation of becoming a vessel that can hold the flow of the thing that you're wanting to channel is kind of actually the whole point.
The whole point.
The whole point is becoming a vessel that can flow with anything that is pretty much like being requested to flow through.
That's right.
Anything that shows up.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's actually most of the work I did prior to starting Third Eye was developing that lower Dantian chi that actually was secure with myself. Because most of the pain I've seen is from people who've had success and weren't able to like be with it. And I wanted to be with it. I wanted to be with my wife. I wanted to be with my kids. I wanted to be with my life. I didn't want to have it and then the patriarch take me away from it. And I was like, not for me. I'm going to do the work first. Let the success come as it comes and enjoy it. That's the only way the joy will be there. If I can have both, if I can be strong in my lower Dantian. And so I call it root down to rise up.
Yeah.
There's no way we can be in these upper echelon, upper chakras without being strong in our roots. It's true. That's it. That's my work too. I teach the cosmic cobra breath. I was going to teach you that too.
Let's do it.
Not today, but it's a whole, like we're talking about, there's a whole practice of getting strong in those parts, because as soon as you start activating that energy, it's going to do work, Kundalini experience, where it's going to clear. It's going to do almost kriyas where your body is going to pulsate energy and it'll bring you to a new dimension of yourself. A door you're going to walk out of, you'll never walk back into.
Yeah.
And you'll be happy about it, but only if you're ready.
Right.
If you're not ready, you'll feel what we call a depression, where you're in between two spaces. It happens to a lot of people.
Have you been there in the in-between ever?
Yeah, well, so not really. I've been in a place where I went through my levels and I wasn't being taken care of. I wasn't in the right environment, but the people around me couldn't nurture my parts, and I had to do a lot of work on myself to notice and own a lot of things that I was shedding. So it was a lot of work. So it's good here, a much better situation to do that work.
Mm-hmm. And
good question though.
Yeah, thanks. And I think it just keeps changing because it's the one certainty that circumstances will continue to change, and that there has to be, if there's something that constantly changes, there also must be something that does not. So because in Ayurveda, we see all the opposites, right? Hot, cold, mobile, static, or static, dynamic, or dry, unctuous, soft, hard. So there must be something which is unstruck and everlasting, which Anahata chakra, it's in the consciousness in the seat of the heart.
Yeah.
And purifying, like in Ayurveda, we talk a lot about the importance of not only purification and detoxing, but rasayana, Ojas. The whole reason why this is the word. I didn't lead with my name or even the word Ayurveda, but the word Ojas is really what it comes down to. The resilience.
The resilience. Yeah, I love that. I think resilience, that's my concept in some ways, because people are talking about allergies, this concept of allergies.
Autoimmune response.
I don't believe in that, because I feel it's about resilience. It's about our body's ability to work through the things that we find difficult instead of just finding the difficulty. Yeah, that's good.
That's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that now you know the reason why
I love
Ojas,
it. I love
Oasis.
it. It's good.
And the things that create Ojas are not just herbs and food and pranayam, but we meet all kinds of people out here in Austin. There's so many cool people doing all types of cool things. And I think something that a lot of people in this community have in common is this interest in conscious capitalism. It's a buzz term right now. I know John Mackey actually wrote a book on it. Something that I really want to get into with him, but I think I've been thinking about capitalism for a while, is, because people talk a lot of shit about capitalism, right? Especially now with what changes with AI and a lot of jobs becoming kind of obsolete, not necessary. We're being replaced a lot. And how does the capitalism evolve? And I really do see the only way for us to adapt with all of it is the consciousness piece and the desire to not only make money. Capitalism, I think it was like halfway there in what its potential always was. And I think now, being conscious and awake in this moment, we have the actual opportunity, I can say, to fully realize the full potential of capitalism, which is we can make money and we can solve problems in a holistic way.
Yeah.
And in a way that considers the whole.
For sure.
And contributes.
I think that's the way. It's always been the way. There's just been a lot of distortions, and money is always changing. The thing we're drinking right now used to be money. Cacao beans were a form of currency.
Wow.
So right now there is a change of currency, there's all these different digital currencies. There's, the standards, there's the war machine. There's so many different things that are being created and also changed. This change is happening. And without consciousness, it's not going to change. That's the changer. That's the change. That's the envelope that we're opening. And we, as a collective human species, are the decision makers. And the more we allow people to become more awake and aware of the infinite consciousness, I talk about infinite consciousness versus the finite form of living, which a lot of people are in finite form of living. They believe in death science. They believe in things having completion, and they don't really believe in the soul. And when that happens, you don't have access to all of this sort of belief. And I know this firsthand. My father, when he came here 3 years ago, comes from the pharmaceutical background. Wow. And, had a complete 360, 180, whatever you want to call it. He's now a teacher at the lounge and lost 30 pounds. He's reignited his life force energy. And this can happen to everybody. It's a choice. Mm-hmm. And when I think about conscious capital, I even say forget the
Conscious
capital.
Capital. Ooh, conscious capital. I like that.
Yeah.
I
So
like that.
I think it's like we need to take the concept of transaction,
Mm.
that whole transaction just needs to be love in action. And when you have love in action and you attach, finances to it, there's less of this who gets what energy,
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're in that space, you're actually in your head when you should be in your lower dantian. Our money is in our body. It's not in our head. When we try to think about money, it doesn't work. It doesn't actually work for anybody's benefit. It's always a war, left, right, good, bad, And so I always say money is a feeling. And if you're going to work with someone or do something, it should be feeling good. It should be a fuck yes, literally.
I love that. That is so, yeah, that's fun. That's such a fun reframe and an important like reclamation of the system that we've just all kind of inherited. It's like we can see it differently, and just by seeing it differently, we're going to experience it differently.
100%. And we are the generation that is going to experience it differently. There's going to be people who tell us, this is how you make money. This is how you do things. That's all how you did it. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen this way and that way. We are the creators of our reality too. And we are bringing people online to a new way of relating, a new way of exchanging. And that's actually a beautiful thing. That's what we're creating. We're doing it right now.
We're doing it right now.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Are you part of any like entrepreneurial clubs? Like, do you meet with fellow founders? Is that something that
I'm a part of a bunch of different things.
You're part of a bunch of different things. I feel like Austin's filled with I'm curious I want to, yeah.
There's some
I think
dinners,
there's a kinship.
There's some dinners you can go to. There's some different things you get invited to. So I'll be honest, the last couple of years, I've been working with a family office in India. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, when I did that, I almost got like an MBA, in the last couple of years, where these people are so good at business and looking at something from a perspective where you can see all the risks and understand all the rewards. And that was refreshing. That actually helped heal my nervous system and understanding how I would have been operating prior to that. I was like, whoa, business is literally, a lot of times people are fear-based, operating from fear. And I was like, shit, I don't want to do that.
No.
So last couple of years, I really cleaned up my life story around money, around what my benefit is, what I'm sharing, and what my values are. And when I did that, I killed my people pleaser. I no longer just started transacting for no reason. And I became very intentional with how I'm going to be buying things, selling things, working on things. And my projects became a lot more organized. So, I think networking is really good. And then if you have certain mentors or people who can teach you things, learn from them, and humble yourself. Like I humbled the fuck out of myself and it was the best thing I ever did. Yeah. I learned a lot. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to network. And if it wasn't that networking, I wouldn't have met this guy. I've had 2 different investors in my life and they both still work with me because I still make them money. And that's what it is you can keep trying to find people who are going to help you. But if people work with you and you actually are good at what you're doing, good. That's a good thing,
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
The need for, I think, like camaraderie, and there's so many decisions we make. I mean, we were joking the other day about walking around with fanny packs and
where's mine?
Yeah. Like we need our hands all the time.
Yeah.
And we need things to be accessible, available, and we need a tool. We're walking around with basically it's like a tool belt. It's a tool kit, tool belt. Your phone is in there. Like AirPods if you need to take a call. For me, lip gloss. For you, I don't know. I'm sure you have lip gloss. Okay, chapstick or lip gloss, whatever.
Chapstick, yeah.
All the different things.
I carry some other phone.
Yeah, let's see. Should we compare fanny packs? I mean, mine's not super.
I got some fun, like spiritual stuff in there.
Oh, then definitely.
I've got a arc crystal. You know what this is?
I've heard of those.
So this has scientifically been proven. If you put this in a plant, it'll grow 3 times faster than the plant next to it.
What?
It's a quantum crystal.
I need to. Okay.
So there's that. I've got this little. This is a Yaming Zhu. Have you heard of that?
No.
So you put this in light and it'll literally glow. It's a Chinese ancient crystal. I carry all these fun little stuff. My friend gave me this.
Feel the quantum crystal clarity.
This is called a Good Night Champion coin. I don't know exactly what it means. It's just a good luck thing. It means divine balance, positive reasoning, and it's about making a request always.
You have like amulets in there.
Yeah. It's funny. But yeah.
That is
I
so
keep it
cool.
near me to protect my energy too. So it's kind of how I
Oh, yeah. And then you have that necklace. Yeah. Is that also an energy protector?
Yeah, this was actually for creativity. Keeps my heart creative. Ooh. Yeah. So it's labradorite. One of my friends from Peru brought it.
I love labradorite. You're inspiring my...
Yeah, you can make it fun.
Okay, I'm going to make mine a little more... Yeah.
You know, it's good to have utility and then a little bit of the fun stuff too.
Yeah.
The spiritual fun stuff.
100%. Yeah.
But I think in business, I say this about business. If you're going to do it and you want to do it, like make sure you're passionate about it and like you're going to be passionate about it for a while.
Yeah.
And then also like align with people who want you to win. You may think people who want you to win based on you wanting to think that they want you to win. That's not it. I learned that the hard way. But it's okay. Yeah. It's part of the process. You know, I think like all Ayurvedic people are also warriors. I think that about myself and all your, and so you're going to have to go against, you know, the parts of your insecure parts, and you have to go against it and like become secure. And that's a journey, and it's actually quite worth living, because when you graduate from your parts, you get to walk in a different way, and that feels really good. I walk in this village very different than when I first walked into it. So I feel proud of that fact for my own self. You know? Yeah.
There's so many things I could say. I think not only for networking is it important for founders, entrepreneurs, anyone in leadership roles, or anyone. Yeah. I wouldn't even say someone not necessarily someone aspiring toward that, but people who find themselves in, and it doesn't have to be founders, but anyone who's like managing people in executive roles. I think it's important to have each other to, honestly, I do a lot of audio notes with friends. Like, I don't know if you and Shang are still doing, like, if you guys do audio notes. He sends me.
I want to again. I love him.
Yeah, I love him. He's going to be at the birthday on Friday. Nice. So he's actually helping me organize it because I've never thrown my own party in my life. So
he's just a really good human.
He's just solid. He's solid.
I can feel his shadow and it's not bad.
No, I
like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I feel it when he's irritated too. And I'm like, I'm okay with your irritation.
Yeah.
You're just so good.
Yes. Well, it's really comfortable to be with someone's shadow who's already comfortable with their shadow.
That's right.
Like when they've integrated it, he's not running away from himself.
No.
So if you can sit with your stuff, I can sit in your stuff with you.
Yeah.
If you're safe with yourself, I think I'm safe with, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, okay. But the people who don't think that they have one, that's a little
that's the
unsettling.
Fun part.
It's like, you're on have fun. That's going to be an adventure. But yeah, what I wanted to just mention about the getting together with people that are in similar boats in this particular one that we're in, I think leaders in a community, you know, I think that, and because we're in a capitalist society, business is the word that we have to use. And so like the way that we gather and support one another to become, I think we become better leaders when we feel like we're not holding it all up on our own. And because that can create a lot of pressure. And we've talked about like the danger of the pedestal. We don't do well when we're on a pedestal. Nobody does well with that. And nobody can sustain that illusion because it is an illusion.
So let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love that you play tennis, so we can relate on this.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have the capacity to be on a pedestal for a moment, but also get off the pedestal.
Yeah.
And tennis is that. When you're playing tennis, you are the one person on the court playing against yourself, thinking you're playing against another.
Totally.
Okay? So that's the science.
Yep.
You're thinking you're playing against yourself, but you're actually playing, you think you're playing against someone else, but you're playing you.
Yeah.
And the more you play yourself well, the more you're in your body, the more you're in flow, and the less you're playing against yourself. And I think that the whole pedestal is that, we as humans had to go for a walk 100 years ago to get a piece of food, and we may not have come back. And that nervous system is still tethered to a lot of distorted people. And that is the fear that creeps into people that causes these sort of narcissistic energies to come into this human life. That's what it is. It's a disembodiment. If I were to come to it, it's like a person who doesn't feel completely connected and then projects and blames and goes into these sort of cycles. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but based on my knowledge, that's what I think it is.
You think that the narcissistic personality tendencies that are seemingly more prevalent, I don't know if it's just because people are creating a lot of content around it, I don't know. I don't know if it's
I feel
happening.
Like it's always been on
It's
our
always
planet.
been here, right?
It's always been here.
Yeah.
However, it's when it's like when a person is not connected to themselves and others or their reality, that it can actually take on a personality, that it can actually become a solid state.
Like an entity.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I've seen it. I've had to be around it. I've learned how to become a super empath to sort of protect myself from it. And it's one of those things where no one is privileged to not be around it. It's going to be in this world. It's about how do you navigate it? How do you sort of protect yourself from these energies? And as a third eye host, sometimes I cater to it. People are in there and mean and aggressive. And then as soon as they get their needs met, they're fine. And it's like, okay, we got to watch out for those type of people.
Wow. And I see you so humble, like the way that you serve at the front. Like I see how you do it. It's like no one would know you're the owner of the whole thing because you're so humble.
That's the thing. There is no ownership in this world.
Right.
We think we own things. If I claimed this thing, then I would be the biggest fool on this earth. Then it won't be here after I'm gone. And I would have done nothing on this planet.
Right.
I would have just been an idiot wanting to show Cacao off for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I want it to be bigger than me. And it has to be, otherwise my legacy is pointless.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta sit down.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm at a point, I feel like the legacy word is interesting. It brings up some interesting thought bubbles as well. Perhaps we go into that and then we end with like the importance of defining.
Yes.
What is that? What is legacy to you?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Okay. Well, we're going to go into it.
Yeah. Let's go into it.
So I feel like we don't know our legacy. We're always living in it. And it's based on like the completion of parts that we're sort of enjoying in our life or creating in our life. And then there might be like an ending towards it, even before you die. Right. And I think it's a good thing, like to have this concept of death before you actually die. So you can enjoy the next version of yourself. And so I told this on one of my podcasts, like I might be a singer in this lifetime and that could be still part of my lifetime. And, I like that idea where our inner child can still be in creator mode. And so I know Cacao is a big part of my life, and I've got a really big opportunity with Cacao, partnering with one of the biggest health and wellness people who actually is embodied, who's done great success in it. And I don't want to be the only person in this game. I just want to bring in people who understand it and can make it work for the entirety, for the consumer, for the farmer, for all of us. So I don't necessarily have this concept like, okay, this is my legacy. This is my route. That would be such a boring life, in my opinion. I just feel like the world is our oyster, and we got to keep thinking that way. As soon as we sort of say, okay, this is who I am and this is how it is, that's like the ego not allowing spirit in.
Totally.
And I really like the life I've created. I think it's so cool and fun, and I can wear that hat any day of the week, but it's not completely who I am. There's more. There's so much more character. I feel like there's a comedian inside me.
Comedian?
Yeah.
For sure.
Like I am really funny inside. And for a long time I had to be serious. And that serious part is just sort of washing away right now. So
yay.
yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that in you. I feel like I haven't even honestly even scratched the surface yet. Getting to know you.
Yeah, I feel that way
like,
too.
There's so much.
There's so much. Yeah. So the legend continues.
The legend continues.
Yeah.
Well, Neil, I love you.
I love you. You know,
you're
I'm so happy you're here. And this village completely changed as soon as you came in here. And not because there was anything right or wrong with what was here before. I say that with so much joy because this place needs to have flow. And there wasn't that. Regardless of the relationship, regardless of the nuance, everybody needs to be a contributor. And it's not about up or down. It's about flow.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you're bringing here. And I love that for you. I hope you're here longer than me. I hope you like make more and more creation and sustainability, and you create the financial relief that you want and the abundance you want and the family you want and the love you want. I just hope the best for you always.
Likewise.
Yay.
Likewise. And always.
Yes. Cheers. Let's
can't
go.
Can't think of a better person to be my neighbor in this.
I know. No, and honestly, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. We could. This is the best.
We lucked out.
Yeah,
thank you, God.
Yeah,
and
thank
universe.
you.
We love you all.
We love you. That was awesome.
Before you go, if you're ready to dive deeper into your healing, check the show notes to book a 45-minute exploratory call with me. If you mention you're a subscriber of the podcast, you'll get 50% off your initial intake consultation. A 2-hour deep dive, normally $400, now just $200. You'll also find exclusive 20% discounts on trusted Ayurvedic herbs from Kerala Ayurveda and Gary & Son. Just click the links to apply the savings automatically. Ojas Oasis is a labor of love, a podcast born from a deep desire to share the timeless wisdom of Ayurveda, Vedic ritual, and holistic healing with seekers around the world. Every episode is carefully crafted to bring you inspiring conversations, ancient insights, and practical tools for living a radiant, balanced life. If the show has nourished your spirit, helped you feel more seen, or guided you on your healing path, you can now support our work by buying us a coffee or golden milk. Your support goes directly toward producing high-quality episodes, keeping the podcast ad-light and mission-focused, expanding our offerings to serve you even more deeply, and whether it's a one-time cup or a monthly offering, we are so grateful. Click the link in the show notes to support the podcast and keep the wisdom flowing.